Hello, this is Mike Jacko with MNREA, Minnesota Real Estate Investors Association, with another quick Flip It Friday video tip for you guys. And tonight I want to talk about the difference between earnest money deposit and down payment money, because that question came up last night at one of our training classes. So I thought it'd be a good time to cover that. The earnest money is what's used to legally bind a purchase and sales agreement or a contract to buy or purchase agreement, whatever you want to call it. But that's what legally binds the agreement, okay? And the law is $1 or other good and valuable consideration. And then the down payment money is the money that you're going to bring to closing, less what you already put down for the earnest deposit and less any additional financing. So the earnest money is what's paid at the time the contract is signed with the seller to legally bind it. Okay, and then I mentioned the minimum is $1 or other good and valuable consideration. That's the law. So what should it really be? Should it be $100? Should it be $500? $1,000? Should it be 1%? Should it be $2,500? $5,000? And that's going to vary depending on who you're working with, who you're dealing with, whether there's a realtor involved and all that. And I'll tell you right now, if you're working with a realtor, you're going to probably be looking at putting down about 1%. You know, $1,000 probably minimum. 1% of the purchase agreement is what the realtors are generally looking for, and they want that to give their seller some confidence that you're going to be able to perform on this, and you're putting something down. Because if you can get your earnest money back if you have contingencies in there, like an inspection contingency or a financing contingency, stuff like that, and if things fall through, you get your earnest money back. But if you don't go to closing and you don't purchase the property, you just back out, you lose your earnest money deposit. So the realtors want you to put up a large chunk. Banks want an even larger chunk. Generally, when I'm making an offer on a bank, I'm putting down a minimum of $5,000 to get the banks to accept my offer and take me seriously. But when I'm working with an individual seller, just a motivated seller, not through a realtor, no banks involved. I mean, there may be a bank, it may be a pre-foreclosure or something like that, but I'm not dealing with the bank directly. I'm dealing with the seller individually, and they're a motivated seller. There is no rule. In fact, most of the time, I'll put down about $10. And I only do that because the sellers, they're not even looking for earnest money. But I need to put something down to legally bind the contract. Okay. And you could get by with $1, but that's kind of embarrassing to write a check to the seller for $1. So I usually give them $10. And then I say, you know what, look, I'll give you $10. Legally, I have to give you $1, but that's kind of embarrassing to write a check for $1. You want $10, and they'll just laugh at that a little bit and take it, and it's fine. Or they won't even question it. I just say, I got to put down something to legally bind the contract. All right, so $10 is what I generally put down. Sometimes I'll go as high as $100, but out with a regular seller with no realtor involved, not a bank, I'm never going to go more than $100 on that. Okay, and then also you want to put something down on the contract, because if you don't close, you're going to lose that $10 or that $100. And it's because of a little clause called the liquidated damages clause. And since I've already been rambling on for a few minutes now, I think I'll cover the liquidated damages clause part next week on that next week's Flip It Friday video. So look for our upcoming events at minrea.com, and we'll see you guys next Friday.